felt so good alone on the floor.
Madison, this is a great way for me to start the new year because the last time you and I saw each other was, of course, you were performing in Toronto. Chevrolet presents Indie Fridays, Young Dundas Square, where you tore it up. And then afterwards, we did a phone interview a little bit later on because you had new music out. But since then, so much has changed in the world. So much has changed in everybody's lives, including yours. I have to ask, before you go into detail on some of the things that have been going on, I sort of want to graze over, how are things going with yourself personally, and how did you survive 2020? Because that really is the comment to make and the question to ask so many people these days.
You know what? I am actually doing fabulous. I mean, you know, Young and Dundas seems so long ago, and really it was like a year and a couple months ago. It wasn't actually that long ago, but it feels like a lifetime because 2020 has been such a long year. But you know what? People are always like, oh, I'm so excited that 2020 is over, the worst year of my life. But I have to disagree. I think 2020 was a really awesome year for a lot of us. You know, we were forced to be resourceful. We were forced to find different ways to release our music and promote it and do live opportunities. And I think it's made me a stronger artist in the long run. I have taken to different platforms that I probably wouldn't have if, you know, quarantining and self-isolating wasn't a thing, and having so much time on my hands, and I probably wouldn't have had all this time to write so many songs that I'm super excited about for this year. And so I'm awesome. I mean, I'm sure everybody's like, oh, you know, you suck. How can you be so awesome? But we had the terrible, worst year of our lives, and you're rubbing it in our faces. But no, I found a way to find some happy, to find some peace and calm during the storm. And I think that saved me for 2020, because I think a lot of people took to the other side and it really just, you know, totally swallowed them whole.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, one of the great things is a certain, can we call it an award that we bestowed upon you towards the end of 2020? What happened exactly, and what, for folks at home, what is he talking about? What award am I talking about here?
Are you talking about the infamous Future Star?
Yes, which is what I've been saying over and over again. It took these guys so damn long. Explain to the folks what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, I'm not even entirely sure if I understand, you know, all of it, but I submitted my song. So Future Star, like, kind of rundown, and I'm sure you'll be like, girl, that's not even it at all, but this is what my understanding is that when you go to Canadian radio, specifically things like the more commercial side of it, you can submit your name forward for things like Future Star, where they pick an artist to support, and then they kind of get everybody on the radio station circuit to, like, kind of back that artist up and promote their music, and, you know, make sure that they get a certain amount of spins. Otherwise, it's, you know, next to impossible to get your music played. I had submitted a couple times this fall while trying to promote my song to radio, and I just kept getting no's and, you know, like, thank you so much, we love your song, but it's just not the right fit right now. And then I got this lovely little email one morning after I was just about ready to quit. I was like, Kate, this is it. I've given it my all. I need to start making some money or get a real adult job and set aside the dream. And I got an email saying that I had actually won Future Star, that I would be the Future Star for December and January. And it's been awesome. I've had an opportunity. And again, with COVID, you know, I haven't been able to, like, radio tour, so I've had to do everything online. And I feel like I've gotten to meet so many more radio stations through doing it on Zoom and, like, social media platforms. But no, it's crazy. I think I hit number 30, and, like, I never ever would have expected for that to happen. It's just so mind-boggling.
If there's anybody who deserves it, it's definitely you.
I'm blushing.
No, and you know, and you're doing a lot of stuff too. What's going on with TikTok? Because that's something that's really important that's going on in your life also.
Oh yeah, I mean, TikTok has totally changed my life. I actually started on the platform a little over a year ago, and I I tried really hard to make it another platform for my music. You know, everything was really polished. I'm so used to Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. So as I kind of got like a little bit more into the app, I noticed that people want real authenticity. They want story. They want struggle. They want to support an underdog. And so I kind of stepped back from it a bit, and I was like, you know, how can I be relatable? How can I be Madison Olds on this app? And, you know, what's going on in my life? And at the time that I had just found out that my partner had been accepted for a stem cell program. He broke his back a couple years ago racing motorcycles. And I was like, okay, well, you know, we need a substantial amount of money. This is kind of a cool concept to take to TikTok. And this gets to show people what's going on in my life and you know, like what else I go through on a daily basis. And so I started in the summer just talking about my partner and how much money we needed and what the whole procedure was like. And it was a bit of a slow start. And then in September, I started dancing just because I was like, this is fun. People get to look at me. I look goofy and gangly. I've danced like competitively my whole childhood, but TikTok dances are just like a way to have fun. And I think that was something else that was, you know, needing for 2020, just a way to have an outlet creatively and not care what anybody thought. And then it just totally took off. I started like counting down to Christmas saying, you know, day one of dancing until I fundraised enough stem cells for my boyfriend. And we ended up raising the goal like 15 days before Christmas, and superstar hero David Dobrik like scoops in on a Pegasus and just like drops $50,000 and then totally flies away. I get a hi in my DMs from him, and that was it. So it was crazy.
How is your partner doing? We all have to know. We all have to, you know, we're sending prayers to him also.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. He's like just through the roof ecstatic. We actually just booked our first round. We're going to be going April 4th. And we're going to be doing it safely, making sure we get all of our proper COVID testing before and after and during, and, you know, making sure everything's as safe as possible. But he gets his first round in April. We have, it's crazy because, you know, Canada has like such a great medical system in some ways, and then in other ways, you know, we're really far behind in terms of like spinal cord injury and physical disabilities. I think we are really far behind right now. So we've been talking with this physical trainer in Texas, and he sent us this list of things that are just little odds and sods, like a little mat or insoles or a stepper or, you know, different things we can do at home that can make such a huge difference for somebody like Derek. So now we kind of like have this information that we had no idea about, and we kind of get to start sharing it with people up in Canada as well. So we kind of get to be like this wealth of information for people going through the same thing. And I found that since taking it to social media, people have started to reach out to him and to me with similar injuries, and they're like, you've inspired me, and like, how can I get involved, and, you know, how can I make this my reality? And so I feel like we've kind of become a bit of maybe like, I'm not necessarily like an influencer, but kind of like a name who gets to speak on this platform about spinal cord injury and hopefully recovery as well.
If we want to donate, where do we go? And also, if we want to get more information just on the whole subject, to learn more, where do we go?
Yeah, so there's tons of articles. I mean, the program that we've decided to go with is called BioAccelerator, and it is an American company, but they do it out of Colombia because in the past it's been an ethical reason to not use stem cells just from where they had used are taking stem cells from. But over the last couple of years, they've discovered a way to safely have a mother give birth to a beautiful child, and mothers can now donate their umbilical cords, and that's where they will sort of take the stem cells from. It's from the umbilical cord. So it's like a totally safe, totally ethical farming of the stem cells. I mean, we've raised our goal, so people can't, like, they don't need to donate to us. We've got more than enough money for Derek's procedure, but we're hoping this year to be a part of a bigger conversation to create a bit of a non-for-profit for people with similar injuries within the Canada area to help them, you know, continue on their dreams. So until things kind of get up and rolling with that, I mean, you know, we've got awesome opportunities for stem cell research within Canada and spinal cord research, and those are just about everywhere.
Okay, fantastic. Now, with all of this going on, you did make time to release new music. What's the latest single called, and what's it about?
Oh, frick. I have so much going on with music, and but I think the biggest one that's done well has been Best Part of Me. I actually released it in the summer, and since then I've released a few singles, but it's the one that's taken off on radio. It's the one that's made a full circle, and I feel like it couldn't have been released at a better time. I actually wrote it a couple of years ago, but held off on it because I felt like it was too personal. It was about mental health and trying to find comfort within your discomfort, but I just, I feel like it was meant to be that I didn't release it when I wrote it because I felt like we needed it in 2020. So many people reached out to me saying, this is the song that I needed. I listened to this on repeat or whatever, it's my battle cry. But I think at the beginning of the pandemic, people were really gung-ho about trying to learn a new language or become a cooking master or, get a new degree, whatever it was. And I think it made a lot of the other people feel like, wow, I'm, just staying at home and I'm not worth anything. But I think that staying at home and taking care of yourself is just as important as trying to better yourself. So I think the song is really important for people that are going through that. And I know we all need to remember that it's okay to take a day and kind of have a bad day. It's good for you.
Does that mean we're going to get an EP coming up?
Ooh, maybe. I will definitely be releasing some new music this year, and I am hoping that at some point there will be a little bit of a collection of songs for everybody.
Amazing. Virtual performances, is that going to be happening throughout 2021?
I am hoping so. I mean, I did a few in 2020. They felt so sad because I didn't get to be there with everybody and get to have such a party with them. I did 2 socially distanced shows. Those broke my heart. Everybody was so nice, but I'm such a social butterfly. I wanted to go up and thank everybody for coming out. But it has been far too long since I picked up my guitar and got to play for some people. So despite getting to play in person or online or whatever, I am ready to hit the ground running and hopefully we can make some shows happen.
Any chance, because the Junos are going to be happening in June, hopefully things will be changed. Any thoughts that you'll be coming back to Toronto and maybe even performing around town when this is happening?
Ooh, I mean, I would love to. Yeah, I would love to. I don't have any plans for it.
So we just planted the seed.
Yes, you planted the seed. I would totally love to make that happen. I mean, I was in Toronto all last year. We left at the beginning of the pandemic just because my partner is in a wheelchair and we wanted to make sure that we could get all of the accessible supplies that he needed. But no, I think if I could make it happen, I would be out there in a heartbeat.
Amazing. Okay, so before we go, what advice can you give us? Because you've been through a lot also, but you still found a lot of positivity. In fact, you even mentioned about almost wanting to quit and get if you want to call it regular job, but you kept going because things started happening. And you still made time to give back in such a beautiful way. What advice can you give a lot of folks out there? Because, of course, we are into 2021. A lot of folks are thinking literally, okay, 2020 is going to be over, 3, 2, 1, 2021, yay, the world's going to change, we're all going to be happy. And as you can see, we're still going through some tough times. What advice can you give us that, we can get to the good times, but we still have to take our time to get there?
I think I wish I had been a bit more patient. I mean, that's been not just 2020, but my entire musical career. And I think it goes for anybody, like not even in music, but patience is really important. And I think to celebrate the little wins. I am so bad at not seeing the little victories and celebrating them. And I almost feel really greedy for it because I'm like, oh yeah, that's, whatever, but what about this? And so I think, especially coming into 2021 and things not being back to normal and longing for a life that we all once had, I think it's really important that we celebrate the little wins. We celebrate the Zoom, phone calls with your parents, the opportunities to go to the grocery store and get out of the house, or the opportunities to get spun on a radio station, like the things for me, or a new person who's listened to my song. I think those are all just really important to celebrate and to take a moment to actually enjoy life. I think 2020 was an opportunity that we all, took a moment to like lick our wounds and feel really bad for ourselves. But I think 2021, we need to get back to finding the happy and finding the passion.
I do that myself, so I absolutely agree with you on that. Great advice. Social media, where do you go, including TikTok? Where do you go to follow you?
Follow me, Madison Olds. I am on just about every single social media platform, and I love to meet new friends and become a part of my family, and we get to share stories, and I love to hear what they think about my music. So they can follow me on just about anything, Madison Olds.
And folks, go back to Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, RudyBlairMedia.com, and check out our past 2 interviews that we did beforehand. Thank you so much for doing this interview. Congratulations on your success. Send our best to your boyfriend, and crossing fingers, maybe you'll be in Toronto. I don't know, but I'm hoping that some point in 2021 or even 2022, not only do we get to meet up, but I get to introduce you on stage again. That was such an honor for me to do.
That was definitely a highlight of my life, Rudy, and I think back to that show as probably one of my favorite shows that I've ever gotten to play. So I'm really glad that you got to be a part of that memory, and hopefully we get to make some more together.
Thank you so much. Big love to you. Be safe, and let's talk soon. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rudy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.